Hey guys, it's Professor Pro, and welcome to the final video of Animal Crossing Week. Animal Crossing New Horizons releases in a few short hours, and it's been quite the journey to get to this point. I think of all the times months or even years ago where I would imagine myself in this exact position, and it's really surreal to actually be here. So to celebrate this momentous night before Christmas-esque occasion, I think it only makes sense to look back on the events that transpired to lead us here, starting in 2013 and bringing us back to today. A lot can happen in 7 years, and a lot happened indeed. So, with all that out of the way, let's go back to a worse time, a darker time, a time without New Horizons. Starting us off, we of course have the year 2013. This was a phenomenal year for the Animal Crossing community, as it had the launch of Animal Crossing New Leaf in June. Fans of the series rejoiced and sunk thousands of hours into the game, as it quickly rose the ranks of 3DS software and became both a critical and financial success. The game was good, no, incredible even. It added so much to the series through the mayor mechanic, and brought so many new people to the Animal Crossing community, including myself. Overall, just a great year to love Animal Crossing. 2014 was pretty similar to 2013. We were all still obsessed with New Leaf and were playing to our heart's content, but with Nintendo's new fancy HD console turning 2 years old, the future of the Animal Crossing series was something that would certainly be beautiful and mouthwatering. 2015 was a huge year for Animal Crossing, for better and for worse. Of course, we were still captivated with New Leaf, but then something happened on April Fool's Day that we didn't see coming. A Nintendo Direct that happened that day had some major reveals, one of which being the first ever Animal Crossing spin-off game titled Happy Home Designer. The game dropped most of the meat of Animal Crossing and instead chose to focus entirely on the interior design element that many loved. Happy Home Designer was set to release during the fall of that year. And even though the game looked interesting, that wasn't what Animal Crossing fans had in mind after the Direct finished. Happy Home Designer wasn't just a game announcement to us, but was instead a sign. A sign that Animal Crossing was popular enough to receive a spin-off only a couple of years after the previous mainline release. And if the 3DS was getting another title, that could only mean the next mainline title would be in development for Nintendo's mighty Wii U system. After all, they wouldn't forget to put one of their biggest franchises on their new home console, right? After the Direct, many felt confident that they knew where the announcement of Animal Crossing U would take place. E3, the biggest gaming event of the year. It made perfect sense. The average wait between Animal Crossing games in the past was about 3 years, and with New Leaf coming up on 2 years of age, why wouldn't Nintendo announce the next game to be released in 2016? Animal Crossing fans were certain that a new game was on the horizon, and even though New Leaf was still creating hours of fun for everyone who owned it, we eagerly awaited the announcement of something new. E3 week comes along and we're all excited for what Nintendo is going to bring to the table, when all of a sudden, the day before Nintendo's digital event, Animal Crossing amiibo are leaked. And not cards, but actual figurines. And the community lost their minds. Our dreams had come true. Animal Crossing U was finally confirmed. It all made sense. The 3DS got the cards and the Wii U got the figures. And the next day, we all sat on the edge of our seats in anticipation. They show off a trailer for Happy Home Designer, which we all sit through in semi-excitement, and then immediately afterwards, world premiere. Isabelle gets tapped on the gamepad. This was it. This is what we were waiting for. Finally, an HD Animal Crossing. We were practically falling off of our chairs at this point. I distinctly remember watching the screen in awe, my mind going through a million thoughts in that brief moment, wondering what they were going to show off in this brand new HD Animal Crossing game. It would have to look beautiful. There would have to be tons of new characters. The sky was truly the limit. June 16th, 2015 is the darkest day in the lives of any Animal Crossing fan. I don't need to explain the outrage that ensued, it's been done to death already. But what I will say is that something changed in me that day. I lost something I don't think I'll ever get back. The rest of 2015 happened. Happy Home Designer released to average reception, and Amiibo Festival released to abysmal reception as predicted by every human being. These were truly the dark days of Animal Crossing, and the future looked bleak. Luckily for us, 2016 was much better for the Animal Crossing community. Nintendo must have realized how thirsty we all were for a true Animal Crossing experience, because in November of that year, they added a major update to New Leaf titled Welcome Amiibo. Not only did it add amiibo support to New Leaf, as the title would imply, it also added a whole new zone tier town through the campsite, a new currency system with Meow coupons, new furniture, new and returning characters, and more. This was definitely a bittersweet moment for us fans though, as it was essentially the point where we realized Nintendo was saying, this better keep you busy because the next Animal Crossing game isn't coming for a while. But we obviously bit anyways and played the heck out of Welcome Amiibo, enjoying it as if it were a completely new game. 2017 had the release of the Switch, and directs came and passed without the announcement of the Switch title we were all hoping to see. That, along with the fact that the AC team was currently working on Splatoon 2, said to us that we might have to wait for a while. Late 2017 had the announcement and release of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and I don't really know what to say here from a personal level since I don't really enjoy the game and didn't play it much because of that, but what I do know is that it made the Animal Crossing series much more accessible to those who weren't already Nintendo fans, which helped expand the fanbase considerably. 2018. For this year, I'd like to speak almost entirely from a personal level. At the beginning of the year, I felt certain that we would see Animal Crossing announced at E3. New Leaf had been out for 5 years, officially making the wait for Animal Crossing Switch the longest wait between Animal Crossing games of all time. It had to be right around the corner, right? I put all of my hope into that one direct, dreaming that Animal Crossing would finally be revealed. It wouldn't even have to be a lot, just a Metroid Prime 4 style logo reveal would be enough for me. So after E3 came and went without a mention of Nook, I was crushed. I had essentially lost hope. A September Direct was announced, but for one of the first times since 2014, I didn't assume Animal Crossing would be shown within it. I still remember one of my friends trying to hype me up for it, telling me that it had to be announced eventually, but I didn't believe her. After all, Nintendo's E3 was rather light on game announcements that year, so why wouldn't they have announced it there if it was in the works? There was no way it would be announced in a random September Direct. And then it happened. And I went absolutely crazy. I'd never been so happy to see a PNG of a game logo before, and just knowing that it was coming out the following year put me at ease. The first half of 2019 was painful for Animal Crossing fans. Knowing that a game was coming that year but being in the dark about literally everything regarding it, including its name, was a very difficult thing to go through. And as weeks without word from Nintendo turned into months, many started to wonder if the game was going to be released that year after all. Of course, I stayed hopeful. If Nintendo revealed it at E3, it could definitely be a holiday release. People just like to be negative for no reason, is what I thought. E3 rolled around and it felt good to be 100% certain that Animal Crossing would be shown off for once. It gave me a sensation throughout the entire Direct that I've never felt for any other Nintendo presentation. I think it was called hope. And then, it happened.
Your attention, please. The Nook Inc. Getaway Package charter flight will soon be arriving at the deserted island.
Funnily enough, my reaction to the New Horizons wasn't originally glowing, since I hated the crafting mechanic in Pocket Camp and lamented the fact that it was now in a main series game. But I quickly got over myself after watching the Treehouse portion of the Direct. The game didn't just look beautiful, but it looked fun, and I knew from that point on that waiting until March 20th would be one of the hardest things I'd ever done. New Horizons got shown off again in a September Direct, but most of what was given to us was stuff we already knew from the E3 trailer or Treehouse. And that brings us to 2020, our current year. The fact that we got a Direct jam-packed with new stuff in late February makes it easy to forget how painful the first 7 or so weeks of this year were, because man, they were painful. Seeing all these games like Smash and Pokemon get their own dedicated presentations, but being in the dark about so much regarding New Horizons was a traumatic experience, and we were only relieved on February 18th, when Nintendo announced that an Animal Crossing Direct would be taking place on the 20th. Naturally, we were all extremely excited, and the Direct delivered. It delivered hard. Buildings were shown off, new characters were revealed, terraforming was announced, it was a wild time. And to think, it was only a month ago. Since then, it's been smooth sailing. Nintendo started promoting the game consistently, fans were excited, a bond was formed between us and the Doom community, which was honestly the most unexpected and wholesome thing of this year. And that all brings us to right here, right now. A few hours away from the launch of the game we've been waiting years for. A game that's brought the community together both through its absence and presence. And as much as I'm going to enjoy having it in my hands tomorrow, I can't say that the wait for it wasn't somewhat enjoyable. At least, it has been with all of you. It has been quite the adventure, guys, but it's finally time to leave the past behind and move on to new horizons.